Indira Gandhi National Open University presents a program under the School of Interdisciplinary and Transdisciplinary Studies program titled Solid Waste Management. Participants of the program are Dr. Diksha Dave, Captain Manju and Santosh Bharti. Let us listen to the program.
I welcome both of you to this studio and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So now let's begin the discussion on the topic solid waste management. The very basic question that comes to us is, why has solid waste become so important for all of us?
So when we think of today's scenario and over the last decades, our way of living has changed. If we talk about India or globally, our power of buying has increased at various levels. Now, if I give you some numbers, it is 70 million tons of waste every year. You can just take a small breath and see how many zeros it has. And also another number which I'll share with you is 15,000 tons of plastic waste is daily being generated in India. Now, when we talk of these numbers, do we have the space? What are we doing? What are we thinking when we are creating so much of waste? It has become important for us. Every municipality is worried. The whole India, the population is worried. We are facing air pollutions. We are facing various kind of diseases because of this solid waste being put in different corners of our cities. So I think everybody is right now very jittery, and it's brought us to the point that we have to give it a serious thought, not only at the government level, but at every citizen level, I think.
Dr. Dave, would you like to add something to that?
Our lifestyles have changed and increasing the population is there, urbanization is there, and the consumeristic culture which has come, that most of the times we purchase. So in that way, what is the culture is just use and throw, and that is the main reason. So we have now started realizing the fact that waste is something which has to be put to some use. So waste was earlier, the earlier notion was just you throw away and it is lost. But now we have to realize that there is no away in throwing away, because somewhere or the other it remains in the ecosystems. It may be in the ecosystem, it may be in your body, it is somewhere around unless and until it is properly disposed of, looking into the nature of the waste. So all these concerns, they have become very prominent nowadays. And another thing why it has become important is that the nature of the waste has changed. Earlier it was all that waste which used to be degraded slowly by itself. But nowadays the thing is not so. We have lot many chemicals, and those waste, they live and they persist for several years. They do not go anywhere. So I think that is the reason why it has become an pertinent issue all over the world, where we are discussing the numbers, that how much of the waste is generated, and we are also quite scary about what effects do they have on the environment and on the human health also.
Right. And what exactly is solid waste?
When we say anything waste, the term, I don't know who coined this term, because if you see in the nature, we all know there is a carbon cycle, there is a nitrogen cycle, there is a water cycle. So how did this waste term came in? That also is a big question, and I mean the great guy who must have first said it, this is waste. But when we talk about waste, it is anything, definition wise, it is anything which has been discarded by the primary user. But actually in today's scenario, what we are looking forward to is that maybe it is a secondary resource, what we should be talking about. So we have to shift from maybe the waste, saying something waste, to maybe the secondary resource.
The perception, I think also that needs to be changed. That
I think we have to delete this word from our living style, that something is waste. We have to rethink that. But when you have asked me what is waste, anything which is discarded by the primary user, I'll say, and you can classify as solid waste. If you'll say, you can classify as various waste, but broadly what we do, we say that dry waste, which is paper, plastic, glass, metal, wood, and cloth. And then we have wet waste, which is biodegradable. But then these are not the only things we have as waste. We have horticulture waste, like garden waste. We have agricultural waste, which we are all talking about because it is being burnt and causing a lot of air pollution and a lot of problems to our lungs. Then we have another waste which is called sanitary waste. So it is diapers, used sanitary napkins, condoms, or whatever. So these are the waste, and we say that even now in India, not all females are having sanitary napkins access or something. Even then, we are throwing around 113,000 tons per year of this sanitary waste, and there's no disposal. It's going to landfills, and it's lying there and not decomposing for maybe 500 years. So this is the number. And then last but not the least is hazardous waste. Our batteries, our bulbs, and paint cans and whatnot. So these are the categories you can say when we can think about when we are thinking of solid waste.
Right. How can we take care of all these solid waste material? What is the management that one can look up to?
So when we talk about solid waste management, it's a very broad word. We have to, as I said, it is a complete thinking. Right now, we've been thinking for many years, we have been thinking of 3 Rs. It is recycle, reuse, but on top of it, reduce. That comes when we are living today with a very different kind of mentality of consumerism. So there is a thing which we have to see first. The system is reduce is on the top, because if you don't generate, you don't have to manage it. So that has to be on the top, definitely. And then of course reuse, recycle, these are the terms we've been thinking. But on top of it, now coming is, we have realized that it's no point talking of these. We have to first see 1R, which is responsibility. We have to take ownership of our waste. It's not going nowhere, as she said. So it is that NIMBY effect, not in my backyard. That NIMBY effect has to go. If you will create, it has to be dumped somewhere. The idea is not to generate, reduce your generation, and whatever, as per solid waste management rule, also new rule says that, wherever you are generating, you have to take the responsibility there itself, at source, what we say.
Yeah, this is what I would like to ask you next, as to do we have any laws or policy related to solid waste management?
Definitely. And if you say the rules and the policies, we are very good at making, but I'll say the downside is that we are not even thinking towards execution of that. We have a very good rule, which is Solid Waste Management Rule 2016. It's a new rule, and then which was supposed to be implemented by 2017 by every generator. By every generator means every RWA, every institution, every hotel, every mall. But if you go out, you realize people even don't know many a times that there is a rule like that. So that is, some problem there when you have a rule, when you have a duty and you don't know about it. Then there are other rules like Electronic Waste Management Rule 2016, Plastic Waste Rule, Battery Waste Rule, Biomedical Waste Rules. There are large number of rules and guidelines available. And on the basis of this, actually all the local bodies are also supposed to make their bylaws, which they are making. So execution, I think we are just lacking behind, but there are rules, and that is what is required to be worked on.
And why it has become so difficult to manage waste nationally and globally?
Santosh, what happens is that waste is one thing we all are talking, we all are worried about it, because our children, our generations are going to suffer and are suffering. Every second or third person is suffering from cancer. And we say, why? When I'm eating my organic food or when I'm doing all the yoga, what is it happening? So we don't realize that it is coming in our water. When the landfill on the 3 sides of Delhi, the leachate is coming, cadmium, heavy metals, lead, it is coming into our water, it is coming into our food chain, and it is coming into the air with the methane coming in and all the fumes coming in when you burn a plastic. So the whole system is really getting, we are drowning in our waste, as it is said rightly. So what is the problem? Because it is not easy, it is not simple, it is a complex problem. Why I say that? Because every citizen needs to be part of it. And secondly, you can't cut, copy and paste any waste management system from anywhere to anywhere.
What can we do about solving this whole problem?
I think to combat this issue, it is not a single straight forward, you can say single approach. There has to be a multi-flanked approach, in the sense there has to be awareness. As I said, when we do a lot of sessions, even with the educated people, they don't know if the solid waste management rules are there. They don't know if the electronic waste management rules are there. And when you go through this rule, you realize that they have every generator, they say, has a role. They have said this is the duties of the generator. You will segregate. You will preferably on premises do the composting. So one is awareness, capacity building. That is one thing. But then some people also, I agree with them, they say only awareness is not what you are requiring, obviously. And then one is the implementation of the programs, and in a very innovative manner. It doesn't have to be very high technological, very costly kind of solution. So you can have innovative ideas to handle your waste, but the crux is that it should be at source. As far as possible, the waste should be reduced or managed at source, means where it is generated. So if it is a school, if it is a college, if it is a RWA, the segregation has to be done at source. See, different things will be going to different recyclers. But by the way, Indians are very good at recycling practices historically. We all keep our akhbar separately, right?
Right.
And we give it to Kabadi.
Correct.
That is a different situation, that we try to get out
Money
of
out,
him 100
yeah,
rupees,
yeah,
which
yes.
actually is doing a favor to the nation by recycling it. So we give our dabbas to different people, we give our old clothes to different people. So we are doing some kind of recycling, definitely. And of course, in today's world, all our waste collectors or safai walas, they have been doing the recycling for last almost 15 to 20% of recycling of the products or the waste have been done by these kachra walas, silently, without being paid. So they have been, what they do, when you mix everything, they go and they collect your waste, they go out and then they spend their hours and scavenge your waste, take out the plastic, take out all the recyclables, and then they send it to the recyclers. So they've been doing it for us. So we don't want to segregate our waste. So first thing we have to do, we have to understand that we have to keep our wet waste and dry waste definitely separately.
And what do you mean by segregation of waste and why it is important?
So that is what I'm saying. Your kachra wala, he is actually doing it. But once you mix it, like all the dals mixed together, and I tell you that you cook today chana ka dal, today you cook masoor ka dal. So will it not be a problem for you? It will be, and we don't do it. So we have to keep at least our wet waste, that is our fruit, vegetable waste,
Leftover food and other things, no?
that separately, and to begin with, and also all the dry waste separately. And the third category, which I, from my projects, I have understood that another category which we are being inhuman when we put our used sanitary napkins or diapers or syringes, stuff like that in this, because they are going to segregate using their hands, and and they have to go through these things. So what we require, the basic require from every citizen is that keep your wet waste separately, keep your dry waste separately, and also keep your sanitary waste at least separately packed, which need not be handled. So your waste collector in some way in your colony should know that this packet I will not get anything of value. So these people, they do this segregation when you mix everything and then they take it out. But what happens, the paper, gatta or other things which when they are mixed with the wet waste, they lose their value. So this poor thing will get less value if you mix these things. So first thing you have to do is start segregating, at least in these categories. Don't say that, he's going to mix or we don't have a composting facility. Still, you're doing a good job because you're not mixing the dry waste. So its value will be more. Recycling probabilities will be more. So these three categories, definitely each and every person has to segregate. Electronic waste, of course, should go to, authorized recyclers. That is another giant which is coming out now, and it's going to, we'll see the impacts. We are already seeing the impacts because it's causing huge air pollutions.
Let's talk about plastic waste.
There was a time in 70s when plastic was a boom. It gave us the sanitation effect. Yes. It gave us, the required, even today, we have some medical equipment or issues where we have to use the plastic mandatorily because we are worried about the sanitation. But why we have to use a straw to drink our cold drink? So it is just a 2-minute usage and then it is end of life. So we have to be very, very judgmental about what we use. 15,000 tons of plastic if you generate daily. and it will take how many years to degrade, and it will pile and pile, and then all the pollutions will happen. So our thinking is that at least single use plastics, it is a complete no for everybody. All, even the local authorities now are putting a lot of effort that these single use plastics should be eradicated.
I think by 2022 it is
It
the
is-
deadlines have been set to phase out single use plastics.
By single use plastic, we means all the straws, cups, plates, cutlery, all these items which we keep using and which we are not required to use. Even our PET bottles, our water bottles. So why do we have to use that? Instead of, why can't we carry our own bottle, which is a simpler thing. So when we do a lot of awareness sessions with the students, in the college students, we realize now, in our old days, we used to use ink pens. Then came the pens with the refills. And nowadays, all of us will be carrying, all the students will be carrying those 5 rupees wala disposable pens. So seeking that example itself, every student, a college student, is using 5 to 10 disposable pens every month. I think these are the things we have to really think when we are talking about single-use plastic. These are all hidden things which we are using. So if you list your plastics, and you will realize that some maybe you can't replace, but some definitely are actually not required in our lifestyle, and we are just going blindly over that. So single-use plastic is one thing which definitely, at least to begin with, everybody needs to think of. It's 90% of your plastic reaches ocean through rivers. And Ganga and Brahmaputra are among the top rivers in the world which is carrying the plastic. Not only the aquatic animals are dying, your water is getting those microplastics. So plastic is, yes, totally the concern, and it is avoidable, I'll say. And I think we must, on our individual level also, because it is causing a lot of diseases even with in our usage also. So yes, we have to think of it. And
I think microplastics also, people say that the air what we are breathing, that also
Yes.
has microplastics in it. Because plastic, when it is broken down, it converts into microplastics. Tea bags that you have, that also had microplastics
in fact,
it.
many of the people think that a tea bag is a biodegradable thing.
Yeah.
But if it was so, if you soak it into the hot water, it will completely dissolve. Like a
Yes.
paper in a boiling water will dissolve, but your tea bag is not getting dissolved. So that means it has a layer of plastic in it. So these are the small things when we think of it. Why do we, can I change from a disposable 5 rupee pen to at least try to buy a refill wala pen or an ink pen? All these small items, what I'm using, plastic spoons, do I say no to it? Can I carry a thala? Can I carry my water bottle? So these are the small things, which
Even
everybody...
cutlery you can carry to the restaurants. When you go out to eat, you can have your own cutlery. Why to use that plastic spoons
In
and
fact-
forks? And so the small
Yeah.
behavioral changes, your small effort will have a long-term impact.
So these are the small decisions or the small responsibilities which go a long way. So we have to think around, and we have to see that, what changes I can make, I'm going to make. So I will say, go baby steps, go small steps, decide today itself that which is one thing which I'm going to give away, whether it is a tea bag, whether it is a straw, whether it is a plastic punny bag. So I think we need to do that.
Well, it was indeed very delight to listen to both of you, and I honestly, sincerely, I faithfully thank you for being here in the studio, and a very special thank you to Captain Manju Minhas, who is the Senior Manager at Chintan, an NGO which works for the solid waste management, for taking out time and talking to us. And thank you, Dr. Diksha Dave, from the School of Interdisciplinary and Transdisciplinary Studies, who equally contributed to this particular discussion. Thank you both of you for being here.
You were listening to program titled Solid Waste Management under the School of Interdisciplinary and Transdisciplinary Studies. Participants of the program were Dr. Diksha Dave, Faculty, School of Interdisciplinary and Transdisciplinary Studies, IGNOU, Captain Manju Minhas, Senior Manager, Chintan NGO, and Santosh Bharti as anchor. Program technically supported by PP Sharma and edited by Gauri Joshi. Program produced by Manoj Kumar Singh. This program was brought to you by Electronic Media Production Center of Indira Gandhi National Open University.